Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. Today for AAFCA Roundtables, we are talking to the cast and creatives of the CW Warner Brothers show, All American Homecoming. But first, we have a real treat for you. I'd like to introduce you to our special guest, Channing Dungey, chairman of Warner Brothers Television Group. Hi, Channing.
Hello, thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you, Gil. As you said, my name is Channing Dungey, and I am the chairman of Warner Brothers Television Group. And I am so honored to be here today to celebrate All American Homecoming. It's our newest show, and it's one that I believe is incredibly important. All American Homecoming is a young adult sports drama set against the backdrop of the Hbcu experience at the fictional Princeton University, where Black excellence is a way of life. And our two very talented leads are here today, Jeffrey Maya and Peyton Alex Smith. Jeffrey plays Simone Hicks and Peyton plays Damon Sims. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And we are also joined by the incredibly talented showrunner and executive producer of All American Homecoming and the hugely popular All American, Nkechi Okoro-Carroll. Hi, Nkechi.
Hi, guys.
So, all right. Homecoming just premiered to incredible success. How are you guys all feeling now that the series is out in the world for people to see?
So excited. I mean, I'm so proud of the whole cast and led by Jeffrey and Peyton. I mean, the incredible work they've done this season. We're about to start shooting the finale. So it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so, I'm just so excited that the world gets to experience it. And I'm excited for Jeffrey and Peyton that everyone gets to see their amazing hard work.
Yeah, I couldn't even. It still feels very surreal because it's just the thought of this being a conversation and then, a backdoor pilot, then it got picked up and then the first day on set until now where we're almost done shooting the season. So, I mean, definitely walking in a space of gratitude right now with myself and my cast and my crew and my family. But yeah, it's out for the world to see and it's nerve-wracking because, you want it to stick. You want people to feel and see all the work that we're doing, but I have no doubt that this season, it's not going to disappoint. I have no doubts at all.
How about you, Peyton? How are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good just being surrounded by just such an amazing cast and for the world to see these people and just to see everybody, how talented everybody is, how hardworking everybody is, and just to see what we saw on the paper and have it translated to television from what Nkechi has made from my mind. And it's just a relief, man, just to have it out. And I'm just feeling good. I'm excited for everybody to see the rest of the season and to see what we're working on now, just because we're so far into the season. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for people to see this episode or this episode. So yeah, I'm excited and I'm feeling good.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, congratulations to all of you. I know it was a lot of work and effort to get here. And one of the reasons that I love the show so much is that it showcases a part of Black culture that we don't often get to see, which is historically Black colleges and universities. HBCUs are often overlooked and underfunded, and I hope that this series introduces people to a world that they may not know that much about. And at the Warner Brothers Television Group, we pride ourselves on not only telling authentic stories that move the needle on how we perceive the world around us, but we also offer real-world support to the causes that are important to us. And that is why I am incredibly thrilled to announce that we are launching an HBCU scholarship initiative in partnership with the NAACP on behalf of All American Homecoming. We are providing $100,000 in scholarships to HBCU students this year, and we see this as an opportunity to provide resources to students who are looking to pursue careers in entertainment. More information on these scholarships can be found on the NAACP's website. And we are so excited to be launching this initiative in time to the premiere of All American Homecoming, which is a show that we are all so proud of and admire so much. We hope through this scholarship that we are supporting the next generation of Black excellence.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Wow.
It's really exciting. We are so thrilled to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, all right, enough out of me. I want to turn it over to the audience. We received over 200 questions from HBCU students. Now, we won't be able to get to all of them here, but let's see how many we can get to you today. All right. So, and you guys take whichever ones speak out to you. Jasmine from Spelman College wants to know, how did filming this show make you appreciate your Blackness and reveal the importance of HBCUs?
Oh, okay, I could start.
Go
Shout out
for
to
it.
my
You went to
Semonite
Clark. That's close
sister.
to you.
You know, Clark Atlanta University, we're AUC family. So shout out to Jasmine. I mean, I think it was a very full circle moment for me. I know that my experience just with being introduced to HBCUs, it's like, you know, being from South Central LA, I grew up in a household where I was very connected to my Blackness. My mom taught me very early on my history, and it wasn't something that was just accentuated in like February or throughout those days of the month. My mom was very, very focused on me celebrating my skin, my hair, my natural body, like just everything that was blessed and given to me. So to be able to be exposed to HBCUs, not just through conversation, because, you know, we know about some, we know about Morehouse, but like those are the only things that I knew. And then when you go to the Black College Expo, which I went to, I was just exposed to a whole new world of education and a whole new world of history, a whole new world of legacy. So, I mean, me being a Clark Atlanta University alum, you know, I'm grateful to be able to tell this story because it's near and dear to me. And I can't stress enough how an HBCU or me going is not just, you know, a piece of the script that I have to learn for the day. It's like that was actually my life, and art imitates life. So I'm grateful to have had this opportunity that NK, you know, trusted me and believed in me enough to be afforded this opportunity, because at the end of the day, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than Peyton. It's bigger than what we're trying to do, but we're trying to give back to the younger generation and keep this cycle going. So I'm grateful for that. So yeah, thank you for that question, Jasmine. That was great.
Love that so much. All right, so let's hear from Nancy from AAFCA. She asked, one thing I love is that these series are titled All American, and both the Homecoming and the original are primarily Black casts. And as we've seen recently, a lot of people think of American as meaning whites only. So how does the title play into the situations on the show?
Oh, wow. I mean, thank you for the question, Nancy. And yes, it's not a coincidence. It's all intentional because we are all American. It's a pursuit of excellence. It's, you know, that term is used in sports when you've achieved such a high level of excellence in sort of whatever area you're in. And for us, that title translates to just achieving excellence in life, not just in the sports that we're pursuing on both shows. You know, there's so many characters on the show that have these aspirational dreams that usually for kids that look like us are seen as a pipe dream. And on All American and All American Homecoming, what we're really stressing is, you know, dreams can come true. I'm a little girl from a village in Nigeria who's now show running 2 shows on the CW. That's bananas to me. I'm still like trying to reconcile all of that in my head, but we should be dreaming. Kids who look like us should be dreaming and achieving. And that's what All American stands for. It stands for being an American and contributing to this country, and the great dreams and goals and the aspiration, like it all applies to us. And that's what we want people to feel from both shows.
Love that. Love that so much. All right, next one up, Sky from Clark Atlanta wants to know, what methods do you all use to feel the emotions that you project on screen?
Yeah, Peyton, what's your process?
Yes, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, since you guys asked, well, I think for all actors, it's different. So I guess I can say mine because I know Jeffrey might have a different way that she does with what she does. But for me, I kind of let the page of what NK or the writing team writes for me, and I kind of let it talk to me, and I just go over it and over it again to see how I feel the first time without putting anything into it. So I just let the words speak to me first, and then after that, then I'll go and then I'll take the entire story, so everything that I've been through, and then I'll take the story. So there's a bunch of like different stories. There's the overall story, and then there's the story that I'm dealing with for that particular episode. And at times, like it switched over like my career. Like at times I would try to use stuff from my real life, but then I realized that like it was hard to come out of it when I was doing it. So I was just trying to find a healthier way to find that emotion. So now what I'll do is I just use what the words say, and I just picture myself in that, because I feel like as an actor, like I always play Peyton, I'm just doing it in different circumstances. So now what would my circumstances be if I was from Chicago, a baseball player was going to go to the league, and how would I react on that? Because both Jeffrey and I, we can memorize lines. The only thing that's going to change how we deliver those lines differently, in my theory, is like how we feel about love, how we feel about politics, how we feel about sadness. And both Jeffrey and I, like, we feel differently about things, and we might feel the same about something, but the way that comes off from us is from that.
Excellent, excellent. All right, next one up is from Kathia from AAFCA, and she wants to know, does Homecoming hope to have an impact on HBCU campuses like A Different World did back in the day?
I mean, anytime anyone puts Homecoming in the same sentence as A Different World, I feel like I just want to like bow down. That show was so, it was so fantastic. It was so inspirational, and it made a difference. I mean, that's how I learned about HBCUs growing up, was through A Different World. And so, you know, it's just an honor to hear people even mention us in the same sentence. My hope with everything I create, with everything I do, is that it leaves an impact. My very, very poorly kept secret is I'm partially parenting my kids through my show. So if I can nudge my son towards, as he's looking at colleges, considering an HBCU experience by putting a show like Homecoming on the air, and show what it's like when you're in an environment where we're the majority, where it's for us, by us, where making mistakes doesn't define your whole life, where figuring out your journey as a Black person, as a Black youth, as you transition into adulthood, is celebrated. If that even changes one kid's opinion about themselves or where they want to go to school, if it changed one parent's opinion about what HBCUs bring to the table, then I've done my job.
Love that. I love that. And I have to tell you, as a proud graduate of UCLA, watching this show makes me feel like I made the wrong choice. I mean, life worked out okay, but boy, I'm like, wow.
It's all right. We'll enroll you at Princeton University. I'll send you your diploma. It's fine.
Yay! I love it. I love it. Okay, so Jasmine from Florida A&M wants to know, and this one is for Peyton. As an FAMU alum, you have been drawn to a lot of projects that celebrate HBCUs. So what about your FAMU experience specifically draws you to want to continue telling the stories of these legendary institutions?
Man, just because without my my time at FAMU, like I just wouldn't be the person that I am now, and I wouldn't have had some of the opportunities that got me here. Like, it was just one of the first times, like, just being on my own and just finding myself and just being around so much Black excellence. Like, that's when I found out that I fell in love with history when I got to FAMU. So then I started researching and finding out so much about our culture, and it kind of just it showed me that I wanted to like pursue things that because I always said in interviews that like I'm not necessarily the guy that's gonna go protesting and there's nothing wrong with that, but like for me, this is like my protest, and this is my activism when I'm working and I'm acting, because I feel like I can reach more people this way for myself. And so going like to FAMU like changed, like it changed my life, just being in Tallahassee, Florida, in the middle of nowhere, and just having to grow up. And honestly, I met some people out there at FAMU. Ended up in New York with them somehow, and that's where I met like my coach, who just taught me everything kind of that I know now. And had I not known those people at FAMU and went out there, then who knows if I'd be where I'm at now. So like I'm definitely appreciative of my time at FAMU.
Love that. Love that. All right. Our very own Gil from AAFCA asked, how is the show going to tackle the social justice movements that are happening?
Gil, that is a good question. And it's funny because what Peyton just said in terms of what different people's activism looks like is very much at the heart of what we're doing at Homecoming, which, as people know who've seen the Mothership show and seen All American, the Black Lives Matter movement, Olivia's social justice journey has been a big part of that show from day one. And on Homecoming, we've got the essence of Black kids using their joy and their pursuit of excellence as their activism, and keeping HBCUs funded and open and keeping them recognized as these amazing, credible institutions when people want to discredit them. That in itself is also activism. And those are the ways in season 1 of the show that we're really going to be sort of navigating that, where our mere existence, the existence of us in these excellent academic communities, the existence of us as elite athletes, the existence of us as, LGBTQ people who are out here living our truth and showing other youth that they can too. That's our activism. And you'll see a lot of that on Homecoming.
Love that. Love that. Okay, this one comes to us from Walter at Howard University, and he wants to know, what is it like working with a mostly Black cast in a very white industry? Is it different than working with a more diverse cast?
I'm gonna keep it so real. I love working with Black people. I love working with Black people mainly because it's like just we naturally gravitate to each other emotionally in a way that we feel safe, physically in a way that we understand, because the way we move, our vernacular, just how we are, it's just, we are who we are. And it's nothing against people who are not Black. It's nothing against people who are not African American, because again, everyone's Black experience is very different. I have tons of friends who are Black and grew up in predominantly white areas or white spaces. But it doesn't take away from who we are as a people. And naturally, when we're together, we are joy, we are light, we are happiness. I love working with a Black cast because we have fun. We have fun in spaces where it's just we're performing and, we're dedicated and, we're depending on our opportunities, because sometimes in Hollywood and white spaces it feels very scarce. It feels like this is one shot and we got to take it and we got to go full-fledged, we won't ever have it again. But that's not true. All this is doing is opening doors. But I love working with Black people because you automatically feel a sense of family, and I will never not love working with Black people because it just feels like home. No pun intended. It really does feel like home, and I enjoy coming to work every single day and being able to, outside of the fun and games, just being able to have moments with, Peyton, a Black man, showcasing platonic relationships, showcasing love, showcasing fun, showcasing education. That's important to see that. Because again, we're fun and cool, but at the end of the day, we are able to tell these stories. And we're also able to tell stories about us in space or in magical, mystical lands and places. Black people are just amazing, but it's very fun. It's very fun, but it does feel like family for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be able to step in, even when we're in the writer's room and we're talking about the experience of figuring out, and we're talking about a step show and one of the writers just got up and started stepping because he's like, no, we're going to want JR to do this in the routine. And it's come on now. It couldn't be better than who gets an impromptu step show in the middle of the writer's room. But, that's what we're doing, or having a conversation with our head of hair department about the different hairstyles we want for Simone or the cuts for the men, and just being able to no, you remember that article where the girl had the braids and it's all shorthand, and just every day of work on both of these shows feels like such a celebration of us, which is why it's such a joy to put in the amount of hours and hard work that everyone is, because it's home, it's family, it's celebration in a way that, I haven't really had in my career. I've had amazing jobs, really amazing jobs, and had a very blessed run, but there's really something different about working in this sort of space with our community. It really is.
Makes it really special. And I want to mention, because Jeffrey, you just mentioned the friendship between Damon and Simone, which, is one of my favorite parts about the show. That relationship between your two characters feels really special, really distinct, and really different. So
yeah. And we all know we want the mess. We want the juice.
Of course. But we're playing it out.
Yes. Yeah. We're letting it air out. And it's, what do you say, Faye?
I said Damon's respectful.
Yes, he is.
But what I also love, just to that point too, is the true basis of their friendship, and what NK and the writers did so well is that their love for their sport, and also just that new transition that they're in. And you have to have that. You have to have someone that understands, because college, it really does bring that awareness to yourself of what you need. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need someone to just simply understand what you're going through. And I think Simone and Damon, that really is the basis of their relationship, minus everything.
Yes, they have each other's back.
Chemistry and all that stuff.
Yeah. They have each other's back. It's good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Simone's not from Georgia. I'm not from Georgia. Oh, I play sports. You play sports. Oh, we should hang out. I don't know nobody.
Right.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes in college. You find people
Right.
who do the same thing that you do. Like if you're in the business, you probably hang out with some people in business, or if you're in the journalism school, you probably hang out with people who are in that school. Athletes hang out with athletes. And so when you find people that are on the same thing as you, like those unconsciously become your friends.
That's right. That's right.
Or more.
All right. Well, this one is right up NK's alley. NK, Merritt from HBCU in LA wants to know, what was the process in getting the show greenlit and into production?
Girl, hours and hours. No. It was a little bit of a different process because we did it as a spinoff. And so what was great about that is we had the support of the studio and the network and the mothership show to really launch the backdoor pilot for Homecoming, and give it its best shot possible at a series by having, all of that support and that sort of built-in already chemistry and love from the mothership show. And so, I pitched the idea to the studio and network, my gosh, it was fall of 2020. It was fall of 2020. And then had the daunting task of delivering what I promised, which was a lot of writing and rewriting and sort of really honing the script, talking to Jeffrey, because I had the luxury of having her on All American and knowing she was an HBCU grad and wanting to make sure I really got this right for her, for my family and friends who attended HBCUs. I really wanted to honor that authentic experience. And then, once we had a script in good shape and that the studio network were happy with, and we shot the backdoor pilot in the middle of COVID in March and April. God bless everyone for making it work. And then it was editing and getting it out to the studio and network, getting their feedback, doing research and testing. And then, girl, it was a lot of prayer. It was a lot of prayer that it would get picked up and that they would see the magic that we all felt shooting the backdoor pilot, that we felt when we saw, Peyton and Jeffrey on the screen together. We were all like, whoa, the chemistry, the energy, the cast, Netta Walker, Sylvester Powell, Kelly Jenrette, Corey Hunter, the cast that came together for this and brought so much of the essence of who they are. All of that is responsible for this show getting picked up. And so, that was the process. And then once, Channing and Mark called with the good news, it was like, okay, we got to get scripts. We're off to the races. And so we hired writers and we buckled down and got to work.
Awesome. I still remember that table read, by the way. It was so like right from jump, it was evident that this was going to be great. And there was so much chemistry from the cast, and y'all hadn't even really been in the same room for that much of a time yet. So it was really, really good. Really, really good. All right. So Christina from Grambling State University wants to know, and this is for Jeffrey and Peyton, what was your biggest challenge while filming the series?
For me, personally, it was just getting adjusted to the new schedule of like consistently working. This is my first, like, as long as I've been in the business, this was my first like series regular opportunity. And I'll never forget, like, when it first got picked up, Daniel Ezra from All American called me because he spoke to me frequently, like throughout, just like kind of gearing my mind to prepare for the pilot because he knew I was a nervous wreck. But I'll never forget when it got picked up, he called me. He was like, how do you feel? Are you excited? And we talked about it. And he was like, okay, get some sleep. And I was like, ha ha ha. And he was like, no. He was like, get some sleep because it's gonna be different. And I remember like the first couple of months, it was just so like difficult to just properly eat, properly get rest. And even like studying is different now. Like I don't have the luxury of like, having a couple scenes in an episode and then coming back for the next episode a couple weeks later. It's like, no, like you really have to like gear up with all that professionalism, all that experience, and really just tackle it and tackle the material in a different way. So for me, it was the work-life balance, but I'm definitely in a better place now. Because you just gotta adjust, you gotta recalibrate, and you gotta go all in. And that's just the type of artist that I am. It's like once I know how to be better, I'm gonna be better. So I've been better at that. But yeah, it was just getting adjusted to this life that they say we all want. It's very tough, but at the end of the day, it's very rewarding. And again, just in a space of gratitude with it all, I couldn't be couldn't be happier to be tired doing what I love to do.
Love it. And how about you, Peyton?
Man, I mean, I've done it a couple times, but I'm still not used to the schedule. Still tired. But no, just starting fresh, like letting go of something that I was on a couple years, and just kind of starting like fresh with this character, and just wanting to start from day one, and just getting acclimated back to living in a different place. And just for me, it was a lot going on when I was coming. Like I was moving, I was meeting the new cast, getting acclimated to them getting acclimated to me, getting the scripts, talking with NK and her vision forward, and how she saw Damon, and just really that, and like Jeffrey's right, just getting myself like ready to. It's a marathon, and to not gas myself out. But just grateful that I have Jeffrey and the rest of the cast to share this responsibility with, because I couldn't do it on my own. So I'm just blessed to have them, and they're amazing. So like even the days when I might not feel totally on, like Jeffrey will be on, and that'll get me right back on course. So just what Jeffrey said, just the timing, because you want to give every single like day and every single scene like your biggest energy, and sometimes you're tired and just fighting through that. But with a cast like this, it's easy for us to feed off of each other.
Love that. That's awesome. All right, I think we have time for a couple more. So I'm going to turn it to Kyle from Morehouse College. He wants to know, and this one's for Jeffrey, being that you graduated from Clark Atlanta, how was your experience coming back to the AUC, not as a student, but as an actor?
It's just very full circle. It's kind of like you think about all the experiences that you've had in college, you know, the good and the bad. I would be lying if I said that my college experience was easy. And I would also be lying if I said that I gave my all that was there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're in the moment, you're just going with the flow. And at that time, I was wanting to be in a new city, and I wanted to have fun, you know, and then it kind of transitioned into, all right, I'm a junior, my grades is not looking the best, I'm trying to figure out my life, you know, and then it turned into I had to stay at school another year. So it's just like all those things I'm thinking about is just like, if I know how I can be better, I'll be better. So I feel like as an actor, tackling, you know, the AUC experience or the HBCU experience, it's like you go in just like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it just makes me remember like the first moment that I stepped foot on the promenade and seeing the kids and meeting people for the first time. And I even remember my first crush in college at the first time, like, you know, so it's kind of like you just pull from certain things, certain experiences. Nice. And it really is nostalgic. It's nostalgic, and it's fun, and it feels good. I think just what to NK's point about like, you know, our activism, it's like, let's show Black people celebrating the lives that they have. You know what I mean? And like, for me, that's how I utilize what I experienced in the AUC. That's the life that I had. And without going to school, without going to Clark Atlanta, like I honestly owe Clark Atlanta to this blessing in my life, because would I have been in this position had I went to a PWI? Would I have had this position if I didn't go away for school? Like, you just never know. But I'm grateful to the life that I have. And I utilize all of my experiences in the AUC, and I utilize it for the work, kind of like talking about the how do you approach the acting. It's like I personally take life experiences and kind of just like add a little bit of this and a little bit of that to make it personal to my character. But yeah, without the HBCU experience, I think that I would have approached it and appreciated this opportunity and sharing it with the world a totally different way. And again, it's just beyond me, you know, it's so beyond me. But yeah, I couldn't be happier to sit here and say that I went to Clark Atlanta University. I'm a proud Panther, and now I'm on a show about the HBCU. Like, it's nothing but God. It's nothing but God. So yeah,
I'm good. Blessed, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, Peyton, you're going to round us out, because Rhonda from AAFCA has a question for you, and she wants to know what makes the timing of this HBCU themed show better than the quad.
Oh,
not the show, the timing.
Oh.
The timing. That she said, what makes the timing of the show, not the, you know.
Okay, gotcha. That was great though. I loved it.
I got people still over there.
Yeah. Nope, the timing. Like, why now? Why in this moment, post 2020, all the rest of it? Why is it so important right now?
Yeah.
Man, so much has happened since the quad. It was that 2015, 16. Like we've had things like George Floyd. We've had all these protests, and we've had all these movies that are like going towards like Black activism, and like we're kind of for me, I feel like we're in a new like Black renaissance. Like, Black people are hot right now. So they're making movies about us, and like networks and studios. They're seeing that stories about African Americans can be profitable, and just because, like, especially with HBCUs, you have like Deion Sanders going and coaching at a school. You got LeBron James working with FAMU. You got top athletes choosing these HBCUs. So it's very like relevant now. And I think not that things weren't going on for the quad at that time, but just in this like Black renaissance that we're in, especially after something like Black Panther, they like put just Black people on the forefront as far as like mainstream was concerned. And so now that we have an HBCU show again, and I don't think that it has to do with timing. Like, you have a different world, you have the quad, you have our show now, and they all came in the time that they were supposed to come in. And I think just following up with the success of All American, and that the success that show had, and just following that, like that had a lot of African Americans in there that were highlighted, and just being where we're at now, and it's the perfect timing.
I love it, and I love ending on that. The notion of Black Renaissance, that makes me very, very happy. It's perfect. Right. Jeffrey, Peyton, NK, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for doing this, and big thank you to all of the AAFCA members and the HBCU students for submitting these thoughtful questions, and thank you to AAFCA for letting me moderate this discussion. And I will then turn it back on over to my man, Gil.
Kevin, you were wonderful. Thank you for the time today, and thank each and every one of you for spending this time with us. Congratulations to our HBCUs on this wonderful, wonderful blessing from the Warner Brothers television group. So yeah, we are looking forward to supporting the show. We're looking forward to following each of you as your characters develop over what I predict will be a very, very, very long tenure. So on behalf of the world's largest group of Black film and TV critics, thank you for watching this episode of AAFCA Roundtables. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.